I'm a writer, producer, showrunner in television here in Los Angeles. I'm a San Diego boy. Actually, I'm a Texan, but I migrated with my family to San Diego. My father bought a small newspaper in El Cajon, California, called the El Cajon Valley News, and I went to elementary school and high school there. And then from there, back east to college, and then out to Los Angeles to get into the entertainment business. But in high school in San Diego, because of the Kingston Trio, the influence of the Kingston Trio, I got into a folk group. And I'm sure I'm the only one that was affected that way. But it was really fun. And we were pretty well known in San Diego, considering we were high schoolers, and we had no idea what we were doing. But it was, in San Diego, we had seen the Kingston Trio.
Where?
Well, we hadn't seen them live, we just got the records. I had two brothers that went to Stanford, and they knew the guys. They sort of, you know, my brothers were much older, and they, you know, they were campus guys. They knew the Kingston Trio. I mean, they didn't know them personally maybe, but they were a local band to them. And so the albums came into the house, and the music was so, the Kingston Trio music was so infectious and so enthusiastic and so attainable for all of us. It was just something you could get your hands around, even if you were sort of a rank amateur as I was. So, went to college intending to go into government, was, you know, turned off like so many people by the war in Vietnam. Literally, well, on my way to college, basically, Jack Kennedy was killed. In college, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X were killed. And literally on the way to my graduation, Bobby Kennedy was killed. And it put my fire out. I'm not proud of it, but it did. And it really ended a hope I had for public service, and I couldn't get through it. And there was the fear of being drafted, and I had a 1A and it expired, and all of that was going on for us and for me. And I look at people like Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and so many people who went through that same era and stayed with politics and have done so much good. And I regret that I didn't kind of have the guts to stick it out. I didn't know how to stick it out. I didn't know where to go. So I went to Hollywood thinking that the entertainment business was a clean business where, you know, there wasn't a lot of polluters and that kind of thing, and there would be some freedom. And it also allowed me to return to my kind of musical passion, which I'd had in high school. I was managing various artists, Kenny Rogers, Mason Williams. We were working with Pat Paulson. I'd been working with the Smothers Brothers. And our company signed Jon Stewart. And I knew who he was from the Kingston Trio. But he had left the trio some years before and was embarking on his solo career, which began with, you know, I mean, the albums were amazing. And so it was really exciting. I mean, John was, I think, he was, you know, he was one of the great writers right to the end, you know, singer-songwriters. And we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. I remember we hadn't known each other too well, but I was asking him one day about the Kingston Trio experience, and he said he would never forget the first engagement he did with them was at the Hollywood Bowl. If you can imagine. And the announcer said, "Ladies and gentlemen, Nick, Bob, and John, the Kingston Trio." He said they walked out on stage. He said the impact of the ovation and the response hit him. He said it was a physical thing that just, you know, just about knocked him off his feet. It was so powerful.